I wish we would just get out of this whole thing of, conforming and just show up in spaces as our authentic selves. I tell you, I am so used to showing up in spaces where, I think I said this before, and people were like, what? I am so used to showing up in spaces where I'm the only chocolate chip in the cookie, and I'm okay with that.
Hello, you are listening to the Her Complexion podcast. I am your host, Antoinette Booker, the founder of Her Complexion Network, and this podcast where we discuss all things Black women, her career, her bag, and her melanin. Our podcast conversations will be all about Black women taking up space in the boardroom, Black women securing the bag through building generational wealth, and Black women becoming the best version of themselves by all means necessary. On today's podcast episode, we have Dr. Miatta Hampton. Dr. Miatta is a two-time best-selling author, speaker, premier nurse leader. She's the president of the Herpreneur Network and the CEO and founder of Pivot to Success Academy. Welcome, Dr. Miatta, to the podcast.
Hey, how are you?
I am doing well. Thank you for asking. I was listening to your YouTube channel and I said to myself, she is a boss. And, we had Dr. Miatta at the Bossy Brunch a few weeks ago. So I'm so excited to have her back again and listen to her speak. And I'm super excited to have you on the podcast today and learn more about what you do, who you serve, and really dive into your mantra of living life on purpose according to your dreams.
Yes, ma'am. So I am Dr. Miatta Hampton, but you can call me Dr. Miatta. And yes, I am the CEO and founder of Pivot to Success Academy, where we serve busy working women who are working a 9-to-5 while building business simultaneously. These women, they lack clarity, feel overwhelmed, and undervalued. And so we help you get what it is that you want out of life and business, help you turn your chaos into cozy, and rediscover your worth by providing you with tools and resources for your next level journey so that you can live life on purpose according to your dream.
Nice. So how did you come up with this mantra?
Growing up as a kid, you hear all the time, people say, well, you should be doing this or you should be doing that. And so you start to organize your life in a manner that you are pretty much following the steps and the instructions of people. And as you grow up into adulthood and you make friends and you start to look around at their lives, and it seems like everything they got is just, oh, they got it going on. And especially when you're in college, right? Where you just like, you feel like, well, this person is getting into this program and that person is getting into this program, and maybe I should be doing this and maybe I should be doing that. And so, I was just in a space when I would say a lot younger. I'm a little seasoned, not too seasoned, but I'm a little seasoned. So, but I was in a space where, I was living my life according to what other people was doing and not really understanding what it is that I wanted, not really fully understanding the power that God had given me. And I just one day sat in that and prayed about it and got clarity. It was like, I got to live life on purpose according to the dreams that God has given me and not the dreams of somebody else. Because at that point, you are living out their story. And, it is God who gives the vision, and we're just simply walking out the vision that He has for us. And so if I'm living my life according to somebody else's purpose, then I'm literally walking out the vision that God has given them. And so I had to put myself in a space where I could be vulnerable, pray about it, and really figure things out, get clear about what it is that I wanted, get clear about what my purpose was. And so that's it. Live life on purpose according to your dreams, not the dreams of your friends, not the dreams of your parents or your grandparents, not the dreams of other people, but your dreams.
Nice. So how can women who lack clarity, who feel overwhelmed and undervalued, live life on purpose?
Well, the first thing you got to do is you have to get clear on your purpose. You got to get clear on who it is that God has called you to serve, because we all have an assignment You got to get clear on what it is that you want out of life. That is so important, that you get clear on what it is that you want out of life. As women, oftentimes we spend so much of our time doing for other people, pouring out into other people. I mean, just think about it. Majority of your time, you are spending your time asking somebody else what it is that they want. If you're a mom and you have children, and you're a spouse, you're asking your family, hey guys, what is it that y'all want to eat today? When you hang out with your girlfriends or call them on the phone and say, hey, do you want to go, to the movies today? Do you want to go to this? Do you want to go to that? But how often do you ask yourself, what is it that you want? And I mean, what do you really want out of life? Not just, what do I want to eat for lunch today? What do I want to put on today? That's shallow. That's you tipping. I'm talking about getting real about what your finances look like. If you are looking to be married, what does that look like? And then writing the vision and making it plain, getting real about yourself, getting real about what it is that you want out of life, penning it, writing it down, committing to it, and then going after every last bit of it.
Nice, nice, nice. So you mentioned writing the vision and making it plain. Do you feel like a lot of women struggle with that, or just people that you run into?
Absolutely. I feel like a lot of times we settle. So we feel like we've reached a certain part in our life, or we've gotten a certain age. And so we forget to dream. We stop dreaming. We stop reimagining life and what life could be like. There's no such thing as the sky is the limit. Glass ceilings don't exist. And we have to learn how to push past the barriers or push past the obstacles, push past what it is that we're seeing and go for our vision. There's a difference between sight and vision. Sight only allows you to see what's directly in front of you, and that can definitely skew your vision. It does not allow you to see the vision. It only allows you to see the challenges and the obstacles that are in front of you. And so, because doing that work is uncomfortable, pushing past those challenges, pushing past those obstacles, you don't get to the vision. But if you could ever push past what you are actually seeing in that moment and get to the vision, man, let me tell you, life could be so different for you. Here's the deal. You're not asking people for permission. You're asking for support. That's the difference. Even when you are married, it's like, I'm not really asking you for permission to do X, Y, and Z. I'm asking you for support, because whatever vision God has given me, it cannot be denied. I might be able to put it on the back burner and just kind of forget all about it. But if it is a true desire, if it's the true vision that God has for you, it's just going to keep coming back up over and over again until you start walking out those steps and living out those steps.
Nice, nice, nice. And what I found is, or, when I speak to my girlfriends and people in my circle, I think people get deterred or frustrated because they feel like at a certain point in their life, they should be at a certain place, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
And I think because we have that in our head, it kind of sets us back, right? Versus just living in the moment and, like you said, focusing on that vision.
Absolutely. And that's that comparative living, right? Who said at a certain age you're supposed to have all these things? Society tells you that.
Mhm.
Society tells you that. There is no such thing as, being too old or being too late. What God has for you is for you, and He releases those things at an appointed time. And that is why you should write the vision, because though it may take a little bit of time, if you continue to do the work and you're consistent and you wait for it, eventually in time it's going to come. It's going to happen. We just have to get to a point where we're not living comparatively, comparing ourselves to to other people, comparing ourselves to friends, and comparing ourselves to society. We were called to multiply, subdue, and to dominate. When you are comparing yourself to somebody else, you're missing the things that you should be doing, the things that are in your lane, the things that you are called to. You're missing that. When I'm looking over the fence in my neighbor's yard, trying to figure out how they got their yard so green, and I'm admiring everything they got going on in their yard, I forget to tend to my yard. I forget to tend to the things that I am called to when I'm so busy looking at what somebody else is doing. So yeah,
Mhm.
it is so important that you not live comparatively.
Yes, yes. And I think people get stuck with that, especially on social media, right? Because you look on social media and you see, this person has this Bentley and she's making $1 million in her business, but here I am. I've been in my business for a few years and I'm barely making ends meet, right? So you're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
So, Dr. Miatta Hampton, here at Her Complexion, we ask all of the guests to complete a few statements before jumping off. If you don't mind, please fill in the blank for me. Outside of the accolades, the titles, and your accomplishments, who is Dr. Miatta Hampton?
Ooh, Dr. Miatta Hampton is just listen. I'm a mom. I am a wife. I am a friend. Some people might say I'm a little comedian because I have a tendency to cut up every now and then. But I'm just really someone who is after God's heart, and I just want to do the work that God has given me.
Nice. So the next one is I feel the most empowered when.
Ooh, that's a good one. I feel the most empowered when I see the transformation in my daughters. So I'm raising four girls, four queens. I often remind myself that I am raising somebody's wife. And so I
Yes.
I feel empowered when I see the transformation in my daughters. I see the work that I'm doing. I see it show up in my girls, and like they understand that the things that I'm doing, the sacrifices that I'm making, that
Mhm.
it's for them. I tend to bring my two bigs. So I have an 18-year-old and a 14-year-old, and I have a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old. But I tend to take the two bigs with me if I have a speaking engagement out of town, if I'm at a conference like out of state, I will take them with me so that they can see how I work and they can see who I am outside of home, and they understand what it means to, take care of business, and how you sacrifice and how you schedule your time and how you make time for family, how you make time for work, how you make time for business. And so when I see the transformation in them and they get it, that to me is so empowering.
Yes, I love it. So the last one, I wish Black women would.
Listen, I wish Black women would really understand that the power of wealth, it is in their tongue, it is in their mouths, it is in their tongues. And I wish they would just get to a point where they stop denying themselves and go after everything that God has for them. There is so much out here that they can do, and the world needs Black women.
Yes, say it one more time.
The world needs Black women. I wish we would
Yes,
just gosh, I wish we would just get out of this whole thing of, conforming and just show up in spaces as our authentic selves. I tell you, I am so used to showing up in spaces where I think I said this before, and people are like, what? I am so used to showing up in spaces where I'm the only chocolate chip in the cookie. And I'm okay with that. And I show up with my braids and all. I dress how I want to dress. If I don't want to put on a suit, I'm not putting on a suit. If I feel like wearing a shirt with some big old sleeves, puffy
mhm.
sleeves, then that is exactly how I'm showing up. If I want to come in and I want to, have on a big old statement piece, that's how I'm showing up. I am not conforming to your idea of what I should look like. I know who I am. I know my identity in Christ. I know what God has called me to. So I'm not worried about people, not allowing me to sit at their tables or not allowing me to come into their spaces, because I understand what God has for me is for me. So I wish Black women, listen, show up in all your power,
Yes,
unapologetically and authentically you, and know that there is so much wealth out here for you. It's just waiting to be snatched up.
yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. How can people connect with you outside of the podcast?
Outside of the podcast, you can find me on social media. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Clubhouse at Dr. Miatta Hampton.
Nice. Thank you so much, Dr. Miatta, and hopefully we will speak again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, My name is Antoinette, and I hope that you jump on this Black Women in Excellence train with me. Please remember to subscribe to this podcast and check out the show notes for your free e-guide, 5 ways to build your network, and all things Her Complexion membership and merch. Until next time, sis, always protect your melanin.